What is up, Rad Potential YouTube? Welcome to today's video. It has been a long time in the making, creating this video where I actually finally get to rip the RADX7. This is my RX7 that I put together this year before Deals Gap Rotary Rally, where I brought it out, took it down the tail of the Dragon, and broke it. So since then, I have fixed everything, basically, that's wrong with it. We've got a few improvements, but I just wanted to take y'all for a lovely Tennessee evening cruise today in the car, show you what it can do, give you a little walk around of the car now that it's mostly complete and it's not a, hey, I gotta fix this in every single video, and just give this car the love that it deserves out on these roads before we take it to the track. This one is a very early 1978 production date, but brought over to the States. It has some funny, weird stuff. The VIN number is actually in the wrong side, and the plate, and there's some other stuff that separates this from just your normal run-of-the-mill 1979 RX-7. As far as wheels and suspension go, the front suspension is a Re-Speed rack and pinion conversion. It has RX-7 FC Turbo 2 brakes and rotors in the front, which is 5-lug. The car has Techno Toy tuning, coilover sleeves, and then it has some super sweet new old stock KYB adjustable shocks. They've been on the car for a while. You can see the little adjusters in there. And you can see the rack and pinion down here. As far as the rear suspension goes, it is still stock style suspension. So this has a GSL SE rear axle, which is the bigger axle found in the later 1984 to 85 RX-7s. I've drilled the rear for 5-lug as well, which fits on the factory 4-lug axle flange, and then it just has some drilled and slotted rotors in the back, and I'm running Hawk HP Plus pads. They do get a little dusty, but you can only really tell because I've got these super shiny Trans Am Race Engineering super lights 15x8 zero all the way around with a 225 Falcon RT660. You'll notice in the rear, looking at the body of this thing, I did put some rear fender flares on and not in the front. The camber allows me to fit the front wheels. In the rear, being a straight axle, I cannot put camber in this car to fit the rear wheels. So in order to run this size of a tire and have what I'm going to call as race car clearance, which means that I can use my suspension to its fullest travel and not rub, I did cut the back of the car for flares in preparation for eventual bigger flares all the way around. But it was a sad day to get the grinder out and cut up my buddy Calvin's fresh paint. So y'all might wonder what color this is. This is no factory color of any car. This is actually leftover red, which is all of the leftover paints in any shade of red that we had, mixed all together and sprayed on this car. So it's gonna be super hard to match, but it is a very unique orange goldy flaked red. Getting into the drivetrain of this thing, this is a Series 5, effectively, Turbo 2 block. What I mean by that is that it has a Series 4 front iron, housings, and center iron, but it has Series 5 rotors. It has Series 5 rear iron, which is stronger. I'm running Rotary Aviation Super Seals in this engine. As engine management, it is a Fueltech FT450. I've got a full function engineering Hall effect sensor on here. This is a Garrett GT35 frame turbo and a lovely stock radiator with no shroud for now. I've got some improvements to make when it comes to the cooling system. Connecting the engine to the transmission is an OS Geiken twin disc clutch and an RX-8 6-speed transmission. I've got a Bridgemoto JTCC steering wheel wrapped in red leather, which I'm super hyped about. Some race equipped seats and an old auto power roll bar, which I had modified for a harness bar. One of the things that I love so much about this car is, one, that I built this thing from the ground up with good help from my friends, Calvin who painted it, Charles coming out, who's the previous owner of this car, helping me get the engine stacked up, helping me work on the car and fix all the rust and make this thing a nice car. But what's cool about this is that I actually got this car from one of my really good friends, Charles, who I just mentioned. And he had rescued this car probably 15, 16 years ago. It had been previously known as Death Trap. Now it's kind of known as the RADX7. And this car has forever been a project car, which is one of the coolest things, is to take a car that was owned by one of your friends and put a whole lot more life back into it. Now that you've been introduced to the RADX7, let's take this thing for a rip before the sun goes down. Running out of daylight, guys, so we're gonna take this thing for just a little bit of a rip. Y'all just need to hear it. I want to hear it. I love driving this thing. This Garrett turbo is a little bit laggy, just being an older turbo, but at 9.5 pounds of boost, this thing is ripping. We've just got it street tuned for now. I still need to do a little bit of work bleeding the brakes. They could just be a touch more confidence inspiring. They still have a ton of bite, but I just want a more firm pedal. But regardless, it's just such a weight lifted off to be able to hop in this thing and drive it now that it's tuned. It's crazy. This car, as short as my time has been owning it, you know, kind of since December of last year whenever I started overhauling it, it's just crazy how much I enjoy having a first generation RX-7. And there's something, I don't know, something about these cars just does it for me. It's playing with that blue FD, all the other RX-7s I get to drive. So fortunate to have friends with cool cars and share my rotary knowledge with them and help them make their cars run. But something about these first gens, even just while we were standing there filming that bit talking about the car, this thing just looks so good sitting between the lines on a road. The wheels, the body kit, I can't wait to get the big flares on it, and it's gonna unlock a whole new look for this thing. But holy cow, it feels so good. It's been 8 years I've had these cars. I've always had the Mouse, which was pretty much a rusty Southern Indiana car from the get-go. It's hard to want to put a bunch of time into a car that is all crusty like that, especially when these are so cheap. And then, like I mentioned, I really just appreciate Charles letting me be a steward of this car for my time here and owning it and making it my own and really ripping it, you know. We always joke that all RX-7s are red, and of course this one was originally red, so it's some shade of red now, but this thing deserves to be red. It deserves to be seen, it deserves to be enjoyed, and I can't wait to get it out on the track. So with that, I'm gonna quit talking. I'm gonna roll my window down, gonna make some boost noises and rip this thing back to the house. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see this thing get built, go check out the other videos on the channel. There's a whole playlist, this whole thing getting built. The custom turbo kit, to wiring, to paint, body, the whole deal. 5 months ago, this thing was a bare shell in bare metal. So it has come a long way to get to this video. And I'll be excited to put together a video showing the whole transformation in one thing. So if you want to see that, definitely smash that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. And comment below anything you'd change on this car. Or if you'd want to see another one built. Peace guys. Keep it rad. Dang, I love this car. Coming out here and ripping my Bridgeport first gen, I feel like I'm just waking up the entire county in order to make horsepower out of that Bridgeport. Gotta have the exhaust so loud, get all the free flowiness out of it. Whereas this thing's kind of loud, but with the recirculated wastegate and an actual muffler, little street port motor, 3-inch exhaust, I don't need it to be loud. And I come out here and just make twirly noises with my little Garrett turbo and enjoy my turbo first gen. Man. That, and if you guys are still watching, thank you guys so much for watching the videos. You know, this car wouldn't have gotten built as fast as it did. As far as me putting the effort in, it wouldn't have got built. The build wouldn't have gotten documented. And I'd probably still be working on this project car if it wasn't for trying to make it out to Deals Gap to see you guys and pumping out some fun videos for you guys to see this thing transform from Death Trap into the RADX7. So with that guys, have a wonderful night and keep it rad.